This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week? Welcome back to New York.
Thank you. I'm full of things and I feel terrible.
Full of things.
Yeah. Tom, you welcomed me back to New York. I
Yes.
was out of town. I went to Austin, Texas for a conference called South by Southwest.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was cool. But I'm trying to think of a guy. I can only think of one.
All right.
And all right, this is gonna sound weird, but not the. How does Harvey Weinstein walk around all the time?
What do you mean? I don't think. Isn't he in jail?
No,
right
he's
now?
not in jail.
He's not in custody currently?
No, you can ask the Manhattan DA about that. But I'm more along the lines. I wish I could think of somebody else, but he's just also an easy target to pick on.
Why is that? What happened?
Read the newspaper, Tom.
What? Oh, I don't have time. I don't have time or money.
I don't
for
have
that.
Time magazine subscriptions. No, not even the stuff he did. You know,
Right.
like how do you how do you do that? But he's a guy that I feel like every time he goes out, he's like, I'm gonna drink whatever I want. I'm gonna eat whatever I want, and wherever I go, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Right?
Yeah.
And I lived like that for 4 days in Texas, and I think I'm gonna die.
Oh, no. Is this a confession? What did you do?
No. See, other than all the other
stuff.
stuff.
All right. Jeez. Yeah.
So basically, I just
worried for a minute.
I was like, I don't need to look, I'm not.
You didn't watch what you put in your body.
Yeah. And I didn't exercise at all or anything.
Right.
And
Or
look,
you even walk around.
I walked around a little bit. I took a lot of scooters places to and fro.
Oh, nice tease. Nice tease for the rest of the episode. Tim.
Yeah. But I don't look good normally or feel good normally. But comparatively, I put a lot of work into myself on a normal basis.
To keep you even at the below optimal line.
Yeah, and I just drank a lot of beer and ate a lot of queso for 4 days. That happened the last time you and I went to Austin for South by.
We were there 2 years ago.
We did a very bad and poorly received live show there, and I think it was because literally on the walk over.
Yeah, we stopped for queso.
Yeah, and we ate so much that I felt my heart skip a beat, and I was like, "Oh no!" I think I'd clogged up all my arteries.
I mean, I don't think it works that quickly. But,
I don't know, Tom. I have a very fast metabolism.
Yeah, no, I remember eating. We went to breakfast, and for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, for a good reason, it's delicious. But every breakfast item was queso soaked.
Yeah, it was delicious.
It was delicious, but we both ate, and I remember right after eating thinking why the hell did I do that? That's not going to sit well. That's not going to make me feel good. Now I have to go and turn it on like only I can.
Yeah.
As an entertainer, as a performer, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I was able to do it, but just barely.
Well, it wasn't good either. I mean, you physically did
what?
it.
No, I mean, I read all the reviews. All the reviews in the next day's Austin Star Tribune.
Oh, you subscribe to those newspapers?
Yeah. I just like reading the local news, Tim. I don't like reading all the news from the coast. It's elitist garbage. I don't need it. But I did subscribe to that newspaper to see what the reviews were. They put 5 different reviewers on just from one newspaper, and they all gave it 5 stars.
Right. Literally the way that we dealt with our queso comas or whatever. We did a bad show on stage. What time did that start? 2 in the afternoon?
No, I think it was noon. It was earlier than that.
Yeah, and we started drinking before the show, and I didn't stop till 5 a.m.
No. Yeah, because there were more shows. It was a HeadGum showcase. There were more HeadGum shows, and then after those shows, they were like, oh, good news. Like, after the shows are done, we're going to, kick out all the audiences and close the doors, and then just an open bar for all the shows.
Yeah, HeadGum loved, they were like, we'll kick out the audiences. Who cares about the audience?
And we were like, hey, that's all we care about, man. And they were like, nah, screw them.
They're like, you're so naive.
Yeah. They're like, that's why we hesitate to even invite you naive idiots here.
Yeah. Then
we were
day,
like, oh, but the alcohol is going to be free, right? And they were like, yeah, within reason. And then later on, they were like, guys, this is not within reason.
Yeah.
We told you to take it easy. We're like, shut up.
I woke up the next day convinced the world was going to end. Like, I was really just like, now this is what it feels like the day that, nuclear war is going to start and we'll all be annihilated. Like, I had convinced myself of it. Like, I called
so you thought
friends
you were like
and family members.
You had like a premonition.
Yeah, I said my goodbyes to people.
Friends and family members. I think I couldn't get in touch with you for hours after that. Like, you disappeared. And I was like, I wonder where Tim went.
I was doing a lot of thinking, Tom.
Yeah. Wow.
My heart was beating so fast, too. I was so nervous. Just drank so much alcohol and ate so much garbage. And then I was like, I won't make the same mistake this time in Austin.
But you did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what South by Southwest in particular is. I feel like it's like that's what you're going there to do, to gorge yourself.
It's about keeping Austin weird.
I thought it was about activating brands.
Yeah, there were a lot of brand activations.
Well, maybe
there,
if you
Tom.
were getting activated by more brands, you wouldn't have so much time to stuff your face.
What I don't understand
Well, sometimes the brands want to stuff your face, though, right? That's how they want to win you over.
But first you got to wait in a big line, and they treat you like garbage, and then they stuff your face with things. Like, I'm talking about, like, there are some big brands there.
You got your Nike. You got your Microsoft.
You do have those.
IBM.
You know who oddly had a huge activation?
Who?
The ACLU.
Oh, that doesn't make me want to give them money.
I know. I was like, guys, I am a sustaining member.
Right. And this is what my money's going towards?
I've given you my credit card number, and I allow you to take money directly from me once a month.
Yeah.
And this is what you've bought with it? A big, inflatable slide? They're doing great work.
You better be leaving here with more money than you spent, guys.
But even them, walking by the big ACLU event, they're like, oh, it's happy hour. Come on in. It's free booze. And I was like, all right, you're spending my money on free booze. I'm at the very least going to drink that.
At least
I'm going to get my money's worth.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my $50 for,
I'll be taking that
for March
back.
at least. So, so I had 12 beers.
Did Miramax have an activation there?
I drank 12 beers at the ACLU thing. Then I punched a cop, and then I was like, guys, you have to.
Hey,
and
this is more your fault than mine.
Yeah, and the ACLU had to get me out of it.
Right. I thought you were going to say you committed some hate crime that could be argued as free speech, and you're like, you have to represent me.
None of that happened, Tom. The ACLU is a great organization, and I've never assaulted anybody, let alone an officer of the law.
Yeah, I think people would buy that from you.
I would, I wouldn't. I'm afraid to make eye contact with cops.
I mean, you're still always tempted to try and grab their gun out of the holster.
You know what? Sometimes
just to see if you can do it.
No, I know I never would.
The trick is you have to do it at like a certain angle or else it won't come out.
I never would.
Well, I'm just trying to give you a tip in case you want to try
But I'm always
sometime.
thinking about like the logistics of it because like that's what you do. It's a thought experiment. And I realize like I'll be standing in a subway station just staring at a cop's gun for like 45 seconds. It's like, that's probably raising a red flag.
Well, he or she is looking at you and you don't even realize it because you're so focused on the gun.
And all I'm thinking, I just want to be like, I'm just thinking, how would I get it? I would never, ever do it.
But I'm just playing it through in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're able to do it without them stopping you, then you're the cop. They have to give you their badge.
That's fully 50%. That's how 50% of cops became cops.
The ones you see walking up and down the street, a lot of them, they grabbed a cop's gun, and the cop
sword in the stone situation. Yeah.
I don't think that's what the sword in the stone worked.
Tom, we're not talking about activations and obsessive thoughts of
dangerous obsessive thoughts.
Yeah, we're talking about scooters, baby.
Yeah, scoot, beep beep.
Vroom these days, because the electric scooters have motors in them.
Yeah, but the motors don't go vroom.
Tom, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on one of these electric scooters?
I've not been on an electric scooter.
But surely you've been on a Segway, right?
Damn. You know that's a sore point, and you know I haven't been on a Segway. I haven't even been on like a Swagway.
What's a Swagway?
That's like the name brand of one of those hoverboards.
Oh, you wouldn't do well on that, Tom.
No, I mean I assume I wouldn't. I was tempted. There was like one of those deal sites like Woot or Meh or whatever. They had them the other day for like $70. And I was like, $70. That might be worth it just to like even just try it once.
Yeah. What I'm amazed about those,
I was like, if it's $70, then like I would not be surprised if it doesn't even turn on.
Yeah, it'll turn on, but it'll also burn down your apartment.
Right.
I'm surprised the staying power those things had. They were everywhere, and they're still everywhere. Much like this scooter craze. People are calling it a craze, but it's here to stay.
The crazy thing about the hoverboard craze was that, like, that was the first time, at least that I can remember. The first time, but the second time was the fidget spinners. The first time where it was like, oh, there's like a new craze, or it's like a new hot product. And it was like, don't worry, guys. Next week we'll have millions available for sale, because it was like, you know, like a somewhat generic product that just like 1,000 different factories in Japan or in China could just pump out.
We're going to have 1 million different dangerous versions of this.
Right.
It can harm you in many different ways.
Look, we'll find every corner we can to cut to get these out as soon as possible and as cheap as possible. But like, you know, like when we were kids, when there were like fads, it was like, oh, this is really popular, so you can't get it. And the next shipment doesn't come for 6 weeks. And when that shipment
comes... Was that a hula hoop that you became obsessed with?
No, I'm thinking of like Tamagotchis, or Cabbage Patch Kids.
I was never allowed to participate in fads.
Me neither. I still, like, to this day get shit about like I had a Cabbage Patch doll when I was a kid.
So did I.
And like how hard that was to get. And I'm like, I don't recall wanting one that badly. I think that was 100% on you guys. Like, you wanted me to have the really hot...
Mom, why did you buy me a doll? It's for girls.
No, I mean, I was very young. I was like, I don't know, 4 years old or something. And I was like, I don't recall really wanting it. That I remember liking it a lot. But I think that might have been because like you guys went through hell to find one and then made a big deal when you gave it to me.
Yeah. It's like, Mom, Dad, if you're going to like go through hell to get me a toy, get me a real Muppet. Right? I didn't want a Cabbage Patch. Like if you had to figure
Muppet.
it out, at least a movie quality, TV quality puppet.
Yeah.
Why don't they sell those?
I imagine that those wouldn't stand up to like a kid playing with them all that well. They're too
I would have
delicate.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, you would have been. You wouldn't have been delicate enough with it.
Oh, I was very delicate.
You would have always been like, I'm just gonna kiss them.
Tom, all the other puppets in my puppet theater were
like,
treated.
You can't kiss them. They're not built for that much kissing.
It depends. A lot of them are built for kissing, Tom. I know a lot more about the Muppets.
They're built
than
for kissing other Muppets, but not for people. You get all your face oils on them and stuff. The felt doesn't stand up to that.
Tom, believe me, I would know how to handle the felt.
Believe me, I know what kind of felt you can kiss a lot. But anyway, scooters.
Scooters.
I don't know if scooters are the same kind of fad that the hoverboards are. Because what you're talking about specifically is the rentable scooters.
Yeah,
that's
urban areas.
That's what you've encountered. That's what you encountered in Austin.
These
as you were
Silicon Valley eggheads.
Yeah, as you were stuffing your face with food and drink, and then you were like, "Oh, but now I have to walk." And Silicon Valley came along and they said, no, we have a solution for that.
A solution for walking?
Yeah.
Tell me more, brainiac.
Yeah, we can get you to the next barbecue spot without you having to expend any calories.
Yeah. There were a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
There were many different brands. They were strewn about throughout the city.
Yeah, I asked you about this because I had seen a few articles from like tech blogs and stuff in Austin.
You're real techie, aren't you, Tom?
Yeah, well, I like to log on sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you ever check in?
No, that's private. That's between me and my computer. But I saw a lot of articles where they were like, oh, no, this is, and it was people from cities like San Francisco where this is already a thing, but they were like, no, this is like next level, the number of scooters there are.
So these companies, they just put the way the scooters work, if anybody is living out in the sticks.
I mean, we don't have them in New York.
Thank God we don't have them in New York.
There are some in like the Rockaways. I think it's like a pilot thing. I saw one day in Manhattan, and I was like, what the hell? But like I saw one once.
Yeah, so you leave them anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So these companies, they'll come in, they'll
They're
drop
dockless,
off these scooters.
no docks.
Yeah, and they're just like, leave them. And then you see one, you pick it up, you scan a QR code into your phone using an app.
Mm-hmm. So
you rent them.
You have an app for the scooter.
The scooter company.
The scooter company. And then each scooter has its own QR code. So when you scan it with the app...
Quick release
code. I have no idea what it stands for. Quick read, maybe.
Quiet read.
It is a way to quietly read. It's not like barcodes. They're boop, boop.
Yeah, no.
So noisy.
Yeah, no. It's seamless. You wouldn't even know that reading is happening by a machine.
So that's, and then the app decodes that QR code, and it's probably like numbers, and it tells the
ones and zeros, Tom.
Yeah, when you get down to it, sure.
Yeah. Hundreds of them.
And it tells Big Brother, hey, this dope wants this scooter. Unlock it post haste.
Right, and then you there's two throttles, or there's a thing that you hit to make it go.
Okay.
And then there's a thing that you hit to make it stop. A brake and a gas, if you will.
Throttles, though, not buttons.
You know what? They're throttles, but they're not traditional always. I wrote a couple, Tom. There's one with a handbrake on it.
Okay.
But there was one that just had a button to press to stop. But they're throttle, like you can control.
A button to stop.
You can control the speed, right? Like
yeah, it's like an analog control for the speed.
Exactly.
It's not just on or off.
Right. And I got to Austin, and I was like, these companies stink. I hate these scooters. Also, it's a nightmare in Austin during South by Southwest with so many scooters. Number one, everybody's drinking and eating, and also it's by cubic foot or something the most like narcissists that you can cram, like the most entitled narcissists that you can cram.
Everyone there thinks they're a big deal.
Yeah, and so people are like, I think a good question to ask when you're doing this in a city you've never been in, are you allowed to do this on the sidewalk?
Right.
Are you supposed to do it in the bike lane? Are you supposed to stay out of the bike lane and do it since it's motorized?
Yeah.
Nobody cared about the answers to these questions, and they would just plow through wherever they felt like it. So I could see with some order and with some rules and with a population that could goddamn follow rules, and a bunch of drunk tech bros is not that population.
Right. And without like so many people walking around.
Yeah. But then I got on one of these things, Tom.
Uh-huh.
I was drunk, I was entitled, and it was wonderful. I went so fast. You know what happened? This also happened when I wrote a Segway last time. I was in
come on.
Austin.
Now you're just bragging.
You're going fast, and if you're riding around for like a while, like a half hour or more.
Half hour?
Yeah. The wind's in your hair.
Uh-huh.
You're feeling it. You're outside. You get off that thing, and you feel like you accomplished so. You're like, whew, what a great workout I had. It's bad. It's bad. It messes with your brain a little bit.
So you feel like I was feeling like the wind on my face. I must have been running or riding a bike.
Yeah. But you were literally just standing there, and I'm sure on the
you're balancing. You're getting like a
you're
little
getting
bit
some
of
core. You're working your core a little bit.
Yeah, like a little bit.
Balancing, Tom.
Yeah,
it's tough in this day and age when you've had constant drinks for 4 days.
Yeah, it also sounds dangerous, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was dangerous. There was one time I left, and I was at a big dinner with people, and I've been drinking all day, and I was like, I'm just going to go.
I'm taking my scooter, and I'm going home.
Yeah, and somebody said, is that a good idea? And I think I didn't answer, and I left, and it was a bad idea, and I forgot where my hotel. Yeah, I forgot where my hotel was, so I was suddenly in a desolate just warehouse area.
Yeah.
My phone
Well, luckily you had your scooter to get out of there if things started getting dicey.
Scooter was not great on hills, Tom. I actually had to
get off and push.
Well, you don't have to get off and push. You propel yourself with your foot.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah, like a dang 8-year-old.
Yeah,
kicking the ground.
See, that's what my experience with scooters is, Tim. I had a scooter when I was, probably about 8. And I was very excited when I got this scooter. I have no idea why the hell I wanted a scooter so badly.
Everyone in my neighborhood got them, except for me. And it was before we all learned to ride two-wheeler bikes.
Okay.
So everybody got their balance skills. But I was by riding the scooters around, right? Because that prepares you. It's like an easier way to learn balancing on something like that on 2 wheels.
Yeah, because you can easily put your foot down.
Right. So I was riding a bike with training wheels, and everybody else had scooters. And then they graduated to 2-wheeler bikes, and I didn't have the balance for it. Never recovered.
Yeah, and you still have those training wheels. Which
I still have the training
embarrassing,
wheels. Yeah.
To be honest with you. I know a lot of people, they say it's fine, it's understand. A lot of people have training wheels at, in their mid-30s, but I'm here to tell you, Tim, it's very embarrassing.
I keep asking you to just come to the park with me and hold the seat, and so I could get enough speed, and then you'll let go, and then you'll be very proud of me.
Yeah, but every time I've done it, you get so frustrated.
Yeah, when I fall, you're supposed to stop me from falling.
Tim, look, you have to fall. You have to learn so you can pick yourself back up again.
How many times have I fallen off, though?
Hundreds. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. Yeah. At some point, it's understandable that you would get frustrated, but you get frustrated with me, and I'm just there trying to help you as a friend, trying to teach his other friend.
I get hysterical.
Well, people are already looking in the park when they see 2 grown men, and one of them's trying to teach the other one to ride a bike. But then when you make such a scene, and you start cursing, and you start saying really perverted things at me.
Yeah, well, you slapped me that one time.
Well,
I think that drew more attention than any of it.
Yeah, but then after I slapped you, then a lot of people, that made people uncomfortable enough that they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna walk away because now I don't want to be involved in any of this."
Yeah, and that's when I got into the fetal position, so that didn't...
Yeah, and you're never going to learn to ride a bike that way.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but I got that was the thing. I got my scooter after I had already learned to ride a bike. So I don't understand what was in it for me. But it
was cool. I think some dirtbags preferred scooters over bikes, right? Like a 13-year-old dirtbag is going to be on a scooter, not on a bike.
Oh yeah, but I was 8.
Okay, an aspiring dirtbag.
No. If anything, I think even at the time I knew all right, scooters this is a one-time thing for me. This is going to be a phase. In between a BMX bike and a mountain bike, I'm going to have a scooter for a little while.
Nice.
And even the scooter, I think I was I can't really go that far on the scooter. The scooter's for around the block.
One time I saw you, I think you were 12 or 13, you were riding a girl's bike.
That's not true.
Yeah, you were riding it all around town.
No, I'd never had a girl's bike.
We didn't know each other that well, and I asked some friends that we had in common, and I was like, AJ, who's that kid riding a girl's bike? And it's like, that's Tom. We don't know what's going on. He's riding a girl's bike.
No, that's how you knew a real dirtbag. If it was a boy riding a girl's bike, it was that bike's stolen. They stole that bike.
I don't know if that's true.
That was always true, unless it was like a little sister's bike or something.
Yeah, or a big sister's bike.
Or
maybe these family bike budgets aren't as big as
yours.
yours.
If a family's bike budget isn't that big, then you got to get a unisex bike. Don't get a pink bike.
What's a unisex bike?
Just don't get a pink bike or like a blue bike. Just get like a black or a white bike.
Hey, everybody, just ride black bikes from now on.
Yeah.
How hard is that?
Then you can hand it off to whoever you want.
Fun for the whole family. Nobody's going to get ridiculed by their peers.
But I had a red scooter, and I didn't understand that scooters were different than bikes. And like pretty much one of the first times I rode it, I went down my driveway real fast and then thought like I'll be real cool and make like a sharp turn, not realizing that you can't do that on a scooter. When you make a sharp turn on the scooter, the wheel just goes perpendicular.
Yeah. So it essentially works as a front brake almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not the kind of front brake you would want to use. It's even worse than using the front brake. I went flying over the handlebars and broke one of my front teeth in half. And to this day, half of one of these teeth is fake, Tim.
Yeah, no, you didn't. You can tell.
Oh, you can tell.
Yeah.
The rest are real yellow, and then one of them's just too white.
Half of one is just, yeah.
No, actually, for like a long time.
I'd like to get veneers.
Yeah, we should go in together and get veneers. Do they have to file your teeth down?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're never gonna get veneers then.
Why?
Because you're not gonna be able to sit there and be like, all right, file all my teeth down into little nubs to put the veneers on.
They don't knock you out for that?
I doubt they knock you out. They probably give you laughing gas. You
Oh,
probably
see?
think the whole thing's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Man, did you ever have laughing gas when you were a kid?
No.
Oh, they gave me laughing gas a few times, and I think they realized, like, oh, this guy would become like a drug addict on laughing gas. Don't give it to him anymore.
Yeah.
Because I distinctly remember at one point having the laughing gas, and like my mom asking me like a question and telling my mom like, shh, like you're ruining it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like 10 years old, maybe not even 10, like I might have been like 6 years old. Boy, that stuff's great.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can get your hands on some nitrous oxide.
No.
Tim, I thought we were becoming
a drugs podcast?
A drugs podcast.
How come nobody recreationally uses Novocaine?
Because Novocaine it just numbs part of your body.
I know, but like, don't you think like 13-year-old boys would like shoot it into their hand and then like hit their hand with a hammer?
Well,
It's part of like a Jackass video situation.
Maybe. I mean, it seems like a lot of trouble to go
How come
through.
those boys from Jackass never got their hands on a lot of Novocaine?
That would have, I think.
Slam their arms in a car door or something?
Well, because when somebody would get hurt on Jackass, you wanted to see them get hurt. You didn't want to see them like hit their hand and not react.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
could have just used like a foam hammer.
Yeah, what was wrong with us that we just wanted to see them get hurt?
That's what they were selling to us. That was, they were like, hey, come watch this show. We'll get hurt. But yeah, I broke that tooth. And like for a while, I didn't realize like when I was a kid, like, they gave me like half a tooth and like it sucked. It's like a bad half a tooth. And then I got like a different one. I was like, oh, that looks much better. Why did I have that old dumb half a tooth?
Your family's tooth budget wasn't that. You spent it all on bikes and scooters.
No, my mom worked for a dentist. It was that dentist. But then like a new dentist came in. He did a much better job.
Man. So
the first dentist is dead now, so I can say this.
Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees. So you can trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Plus, there's no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. I'm an expert, Tom. You can view easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone.
You can also view stock collections such as 100 Most Popular. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio. Discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners to the complete guide to everything a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. Sign up at guide.robinhood.com today.
So, Tom, people might remember
Uh-huh.
this is the second big urban scooter phase. Do you remember around the year 2000, 2001?
Mm-hmm.
Businessmen in New York, where they got
Rascals.
the Razor scooters.
Yeah, Razors.
No, the Rascals were a total different thing.
There are Rascal scooters. Man, imagine if that was a big, like, guys on Wall Street. They were like, I take a Rascal to work now. Just a giant, big sit-down scooter.
Yeah. The Rascal is such a good name for those scooters.
Yeah, because you look like a little rascal
Yeah.
riding around. Oh, hey, who's that rascal?
It's always like an old guy's going to like pinch somebody's butt.
Yeah.
It's like, you rascal.
Drive one down the flight of stairs. Yeah, the Razor scooters, that was like a big craze because the Razor scooters, was it all of them that you could fold up?
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I don't know that everybody folded them, but I just remember. It was my first year of college, and I went to NYU in the New York City.
Yeah, and you were an intern at Goldman Sachs, if I recall.
Yeah, freshman year, right away.
Mm-hmm.
I knew sax.
Right, and that's what opened a lot of doors for you.
So that's what got me to where I am today. This dark room on a Friday night talking for an hour with my idiot friend.
Oh, I thought you were a hedge fund manager now.
These guys, and I would be walking to class, and all these men in suits would be like, "Coming through, watch out!"
Coming through, the market's about to open.
Yeah, and I hated it.
I can't miss the opening bell.
I thought these guys were losers. You're not even getting anywhere that quickly.
Yeah, that was always the thing with push scooters I never understood, where I'm like, I don't know, is that much more efficient? Like a bike is more efficient because it has gears.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's using your energy to turn gears, and it's using...
I'll be honest, I don't know how a bike works, but I
No,
do know
me neither,
you
but
can
like
go
it's
pretty
doing
fast,
something.
and it's not that hard to get it going pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, and once you're going, most importantly, it's very easy to stay at that speed.
Yeah.
You don't have to put a lot more effort in. But a scooter, you're constantly having to put the same amount of effort in to get it going even a decent speed.
I don't want to bring this up again, but just real quick. Did they ever figure out how they got the Muppets to ride the bikes?
I mean, the people who did it, they figured it out.
Yeah. I just feel
like everybody else?
In the Muppets Take Manhattan, they ride through Central Park on bicycles.
Right.
But they're puppets.
That? Yeah.
You don't see the men under them controlling them.
Yeah, but they're not talking while they're doing it, right?
They're singing even harder.
Huh.
One of them's drinking a glass of water.
I think that's true.
And this might have just been a product of me learning about this when I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, nobody knows to this day how they got the Muppets to ride the bikes.
Yeah. One of those mysteries.
They opened up a whole Jim Henson exhibit at the Museum of the Moving Image near me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there hoping that finally they'd explain how they got the Muppets to ride the bikes. Nope. There's a pretty big Swedish chef in there, though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he must be pretty big because he had, human-sized hands that were kind of small on him.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, they got a small-handed man.
Okay, well,
it's part of the character.
Bigger. They got a small-handed actual Swede to do it. But yeah, that was the first scooter. And I still see people riding those kinds of scooters sometimes.
Yeah.
But they've got to get with the times because now we got these motorized scooters.
These motorized scooters, so they're owned by big tech companies, right? Like Uber has one.
Uber and Lyft both have companies. Right. Lyft is just Lyft scooters.
Yeah.
But I think Uber is Jump is the name of their scooter company. Which that seems, why are you encouraging people to jump on your scooters? That seems dangerous.
Well, you want to do tricks. I tried to do a wheelie. Bird.
Uh-huh.
Dot with 2 T's. Grin, because it makes you happy.
Okay.
Lime, that was a big one.
Yeah.
Bird and lime were the big ones.
Bird and lime are the ones I've heard of, but I've not heard of dot or grin.
You know the smallest one by funding or whatever?
Is it just one guy with a scooter and he'll just come to you?
No, it's called Scoot. But come on, you should be leading the way.
Yeah.
Everybody, you hear Scoot, you know exactly what that is.
Oh, what kind of company is that? A scooter company?
Yeah. Skip, you have no idea what it is. Spin.
Mm-hmm.
Tear.
Tear? Like crying?
No, like tier 1.
Okay, like peer.
Yeah, but with a T.
Right.
Tier.
Peer with a T. Got it.
But not peer, P-E-E-R.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. T-E-E-R.
No. T-I-E-R. Tire.
Tire. Okay. That makes sense. They have tires.
Yeah. Yellow.
Like the color.
Yeah. Like the Coldplay song.
Oh, yeah.
And those are the companies.
If it just played a MIDI of the Coldplay song Yellow as you rode along.
I wouldn't mind that.
But it was free. But it just went ding, ding, ding,
I used
ding, ding, ding,
Lyft.
ding, ding, ding. Because you already had the app?
Yeah, I couldn't download any apps.
Why not?
I don't know. The internet wasn't really working that well there.
But it's a big tech conference.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
You couldn't even download one app?
I didn't run the goddamn conference, Tom. Take it up with the infrastructure people.
Do you have their contact information?
I do.
Okay,
I'm connected with them on LinkedIn.
Hello, my colleague Tim here had a lot of trouble connecting to the internet at a tech conference of all places. I demand answers.
I think New York is too congested to bring these pieces of crap. Well, here's the thing. I hate these things in theory.
I have a question about them.
I loved it when I was doing it myself. This is everything. Like it's like life. Like nobody should do this really fun thing except for me when I get the chance to do it.
Yeah, I mean that's everything.
Yeah.
They're all like the same scooters though, right? Like it's all the same model?
No,
they're different
what
models?
are you, an idiot?
No, from what I've heard, I'm just unaware, Tim. I'm trying to learn about it.
All right, got any more dumb questions?
No, I had heard that a lot of them were Ninebot, which is the company that now owns Segway, that they're like the big scooter company.
Listen, you fool, some of them are.
Okay.
But you think everybody's getting the scooter from the one place?
Yeah, kind of.
There were no Huffies.
Right. Huffy hasn't come into the 21st century.
And Tom, if I'm answering your question honestly, I don't know. I didn't notice if they were all the same. They looked different.
Yeah, you only took one.
They were different colors. No, but they were all there.
But they can paint them any color.
So a lot of them had stickers, not paint.
Oh, okay. Well, then even easier. They could sticker them any color.
Yeah. People would just leave these things like... Lyft made you take a picture of once you
yeah, but then you could
it.
knock it over.
Yeah, then you could just pick it up and throw it in the river.
Yeah, and you would have even more less liability because you'd be like, well, I sent you a picture. What do you think? I sent you a picture and then threw it in the river?
Like city bikes, like you have to dock them, otherwise they know you still have it, and then you throw it in the river, right? Like,
yeah, you can't throw it in the river because you'd have to undock it again. They'd be like, no, we saw, you undocked it again.
It locks in when you dock it.
These things don't lock in, and so maybe the solution is make them like all like 500 pounds, make them too heavy to throw in the river.
Yeah,
give them all insane battery life. They can all ride for thousands of miles.
Let me ask you a question.
Say
they bring all these scooters to New York.
Yeah, they're trying to.
They shouldn't. It's a bad city for it. But is it technically against the law to throw that in the river?
I mean, to throw it in the river, sure, because you can't just throw things in the river.
Yeah, that's true. And you probably just can't smash it to bits, right?
Yeah, I mean there are laws about like just smashing property that's not yours, regardless of where it is.
Yeah.
Now to catch you and prosecute you, I think would be difficult.
Yeah.
And not worth like the city's time.
Yeah.
If
New York City would be hell, especially your neighborhood, especially all of Manhattan. Any hip neighborhood would be hell with these things there.
Why?
Because it's if you get these into the hands of an entitled population,
people will just be jerks to them
in a crowded, in a densely packed area, densely populated area.
Yeah,
it's a recipe for like people getting mowed down by these things constantly.
Can you really be mowed down by them though?
Yeah, they go pretty fast. They go up to 16 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and people ride them on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
and then if you're riding in the bike lane, like bikes are gonna hate you. Nobody, it's just
bikes hate everybody,
and nobody's paying attention.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the big thing. I've actually been using while you were away. I've been using.
Were you mad that I left?
I've been using a lot more this week. I have a city bike membership, which is our bike. Yeah,
I wish it wasn't branded.
No, it's cool that it's branded after a bank. The coolest type of company you can imagine. But they've recently rolled out a crazy amount of electric bikes.
Which were becoming a thing. It was popular for delivery folk to ride electric bikes, and they were illegal.
Yes.
And then...
but the city kind of looked the other way about it.
Not really.
I mean, they didn't look the other way, but it was kind of like there were so many of them, they couldn't really do anything about it.
Right.
But then they legalized it.
If you want to do something illegal, just overwhelm the authorities.
I mean, it
by
works.
The scale of the crime.
Well, the thing about the delivery bike electric bikes is that they're basically electric motorcycles.
No, they're not.
The difference is it's not...
What you're saying is classist right now.
No, they're not pedal assist. They're like what you're talking about with the scooters. Like, they're just throttles. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. And some of them do go real fast. And some of these guys do ride
These guys.
They ride the wrong way. Ride the wrong way in one-way streets and stuff. Like, people ride dangerously on those bikes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But
you don't mind because here's the thing. If you're freaking...
I want my tacos.
If your taco is a minute late, you're a tyrant, Tom.
Right. I won't pay for it.
Yeah. Spit in their faces.
But the city bikes, for the record, I'm disappointed that the city bikes aren't like that because that's what I was excited about.
Yeah, wait, what's the pedal assist?
So
still got to pedal these things?
You still got to pedal them.
BS.
The big advantage, though, the nice thing is although it's an advantage and a disadvantage. So I've been using them a lot lately because as of right now until the endish of April, they had a few of these out there, like a pilot program, but they were finding a unicorn. You would never see them. But now they just got they got a bunch more money and they're putting thousands because they thought the L train, like everybody else, thought the L train was shutting down and this was going to be a big solution for it. But they're still going ahead. So now there's a decent amount. At most stations, you will see a few of them. Mm-hmm. And at least until the end of April, with your regular membership, you can just take one. It's the same. But after that, it's going to be $2 extra, which is
I don't know, for the lazy, not the lazy even, for the people that if you don't want to show up to your destination all sweaty.
Yeah, no, and for long distances, sure. The problem is I use city bikes a lot for short distances. That's what I like about them.
How short are we talking?
3 or 4 blocks.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Why
are you doing this?
Because
just walk.
Because it's much...
By the time you're not saving any time once you undock it and then redock it.
Listen, it's very easy to undock. Are
you a slow walker? Your shoes are always coming untied.
No, I told you I learned how to tie my shoes. It's fine now. I'm a very fast walker. No, I mean, I like taking a city bike regardless, but especially I like taking the electric bikes for these short... when it was just going from my house, my apartment to the train station, the subway station.
Well, that's more than 3 or 4 blocks, Tom.
All right. 5 or 6 blocks.
Yeah. I'd say that's on a normal day, on a 7-minute walk?
Yeah, at least 7 minutes.
I'd say maybe 9 minutes.
Maybe 9 minutes. Yeah, I think actually it is about 9 minutes.
Your address here is. We could just map this real quickly. I'll put it into a thing. I'll tell you exactly.
No, that's all right. I don't think I want to put that out there. Yeah, so like that's when I would use city bikes a lot, and like what I've liked using the electric bikes for. I don't normally go long. I will I guess like once it gets nicer out, then I'll be like, all right, if I'm going to like Williamsburg, I'll take an electric bike.
Yeah.
But it is nice, like when you do that first pedal, all of a sudden it goes like, and just kind of like takes off, and you're like, whoa, it makes you feel
doing this.
It makes you feel like you're very strong. Yeah. Although I did have a problem last week. I had to like kind of weave in between like traffic, like stopped at a light, but it was like, oh, I can like get ahead by going through parked cars and stuff. Mm-hmm. And every time I would hit the pedal, it would go like, it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. Stop making me go so fast all of a sudden. But it's very nice, like when
you're great power, Tom.
And actually, it is a little. On the flip side, it is a little bit safer because like you're not as worried about conservation of energy. Like you're not as likely, or at least I'm not as likely to like blow through a stop sign or a red light because it's like, oh, I can stop here because to get going again is very easy on one of these things.
Listen, if you're having trouble getting a bike to go, you got other problems.
I'm just saying, like, you know how, like, you know, there will be a red light, but you're like, oh, I can see, like, I'll slow down, but I'm not going to completely
stop. Why are you admitting to all these crimes on a podcast?
You were talking about riding one of these things drunk. Well, but you were in Texas, and now
you can do anything in Texas. Yeah, I'd like to see the Texan authorities come after me.
They'll send the Texas Rangers after you.
Nice, Nolan Ryan.
Right, they'll send the retired Texas Rangers after
Nolan Ryan. Was he a piece of crap?
No, I think he was like just kind of like kept to himself kind of guy.
Nah, I don't know. I think he had his share of fights.
Yeah, that's true. Well, any pitcher's gonna have their share of fights.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, do you know how these things get recharged, Tim?
I heard a rumor that there's not a good way to do it.
No. So basically, these companies have what they call juicers. And it's part of the gig economy that everybody's crazy about.
Man, I love the gig economy. This is great. It's great for everybody. So this seems like a pretty sweet job.
It varies company to company how it works. And I forget, it's one of the bigger companies, Bird or Lime. I think it's Lime. That has like a good on paper but bad in practice thing where like basically the way all these things work is that you can sign up to be a juicer and you'll get an app, a different app, I assume.
An application for your phone.
An application for your phone.
Not an appetizer.
Right.
If it was like you get a coupon for free mozzarella sticks.
Who
if
wouldn't sign up?
Yeah. Pay me in mozzarella sticks. Finally, the gig economy's coming through for me.
And on the app, it will show you, here's where some scooters are that need recharging. So, like, did you come across any scooters where, like, maybe there would be, like, a blinking light or something? It'd be like, yeah, this one's depleted. You can't take it.
Dead battery.
Yeah. So
stinks.
These ones will show up on an app, and the juicers, they have to go in a car or a van and pick those up. Take them back
in Texas. You know what they used?
Pickup trucks. Yeah. I mean, a pickup truck's probably the best kind of vehicle to use for this.
Throw it in there.
You can use any kind of vehicle you want. You go and pick them up. You bring them back to your house, and you charge them overnight. And then in the morning, the app says, "Thank you for doing that. Here's where we want you to go drop them off now. Here's where they'll be needed." Because you can't just like put them outside your house because they're like, well, nobody's going to pick them up outside your house. You got to bring them back downtown or whatever.
What if you got in too deep and you just had to go throw them in the river?
Well, you would want to do that after you said you dropped them off, maybe.
Right.
But the problem is, again, I think it's Lime, but I might be wrong. One of them, they basically like the longer one of them sits, the more like the price goes up. So they don't charge a flat rate. They'll charge anywhere or pay a flat rate. They'll charge anywhere from $4 to $20. So if like a scooter's only been sitting there for like 5 minutes, they're like, yeah, if you go pick that up and charge it, we'll give you $4. But if it's like, oh, that scooter's been sitting there dead for 3 days now, so we're losing money.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's kind of out of the way. If you go pick it up, we'll give you $20. Now, what this has led to is people gaming it, where they'll go and not using the app or anything, just pick up a whole bunch of dead scooters, bring them to their garage, and just sit on them and wait until
you gotta stand on them now. There's no seat.
No, that's the fucked up thing.
If you
they'll just
pile
sit
them
on
up, there you can make a chair out of them. So that's what they're doing. They're making chairs out of scooters.
They're making chairs out of scooters in their garage and waiting till those scooters are worth like $20. And then they're saying, oh, hey, I'll go pick up that scooter. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But they don't wink at the app. I mean, even if they did, the app wouldn't know.
They have facial recognition. They'd have trouble opening the home screen, the lock screen.
Right. They'll be like, you have to stop winking. We can't open. And then they'll charge them. But even beyond that, there have already been like instances of violence and threats where like people will go to pick up scooters and like somebody else will be trying to pick up that same scooter and they'll be like, hey, that's my scooter, you jerk, and threaten them, or they'll be like, this is my turf, you can't pick up scooters around here, this is where I pick up scooters.
Right.
So it's led to confrontations like that and stuff.
I'm interested in organized crime, getting into it.
Well, this would be like a good place. It's like you'd be working from the ground up. No, but somebody's like an article I read, they said like, no, somebody like brandished a gun at me and said like, don't come around here. This is my turf for picking up scooters. I don't think organized crime's into it. I think like
no, I mean that declaring that you have turf.
You're getting you're creating your own organized crime.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I'd like to organize crime.
It's a good entry level opportunity if you're looking to get into organized crime.
You could do just put them all on your I guess you might as well just charge them yourself. I said put them all on your property, and then when they get to $20, you're like, pay me $5 and you'll get this. But
at that point, that's just making things too complicated.
Yeah.
And people are pointing out
derivatives. It's the derivative market, Tom.
People are pointing out, rightfully so, that it's like these companies could very easily tell if they wanted, like, oh, hey, this person, there are 20 of our scooters in this one location, and that location matches the address we have on file for the person who's now charging.
That's why you
them.
got to put them at your cousin's house.
It's true. But even then, it would be like, well, why are there 20 depleted scooters at this guy's cousin's house?
Because your cousin had a party.
That's true.
Hey, Lime, none of your damn business.
Yeah.
Are we scooting or are we asking questions here?
So yeah, that's what I think the problems with these scooters are. But they can fix that problem. But even still, it seems like it's going to be a whole thing.
You know what? It's going to be gone before these, we're not gonna have to we're not gonna worry about these problems. I don't understand how people don't see this as a fad. Like, oh, this is the future of urban transportation? No, of course not.
Why not?
Because these things never. It's a fad. It's a fad.
I don't know. I think a fad, people have to buy things. In this case, people don't have to buy them. If you only have to pay,
these scooters will start to fall apart.
That's already a problem that they're having.
Yeah,
because a lot of them aren't built to be kind of like commercially used things. How much does it cost to ride one of these things? It's very cheap, right?
Yeah, I believe it was $1 in most cases to start.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was something like...
Because they know once you start, you're not going to be able to stop.
40 cents a minute or something like that.
Are you taking money out to...
No, I have a spin. Enjoy $5 in ride credit. But I don't know what that means. I thought maybe it would have some sort of
rates
like...
on there?
Yeah. They don't want you to know the rates because they want to make those rates dynamic. Yeah. I just feel like, look, man... These people aren't the people who are investing in these companies. They're not in it for the long haul.
Well, the problem with it right now is apparently they're all running at a loss because Lyft and Uber, their business model is let's try and drive everybody else out of business.
Right.
Let's just try and be the last one standing, battle royale style. And then,
which is really cool.
Yeah, which is a great way for capitalism to work. Let's try and undercut everybody else, and then once everybody else is out, then we'll have a monopoly, so we can do whatever we want instead of having like actual competition.
Yeah. Tim,
would you like to solve a problem, or do you have more scooter talk?
Tom, both, but I'd rather solve a problem because I think everybody's done with us talking about scooters. Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Hello and welcome to the Tim and Tom Solve Your Problems podcast within a podcast.
Not really, it's just a segment.
Where we talk about, where we solve a problem. If you have I'm Tim.
I'm Tom.
Did we do that part already?
No. Tim, Jesus, you've only been talking for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm distracted. If you have a problem you'd like us to solve, thecompleteguide-to-everything@gmail.com. Hey, use that email address. Use it or lose it is what they say.
Right.
Tom, in 1 year's time, in 18 months' time,
year and a half,
we need some sort of like $10,000 bet about the viability of these scooter companies.
No,
this is how confident I am.
You're always trying to make $10,000 bets with me, and I think you've lost a couple of them and refused to pay up.
No, we've never made these bets.
No, we
you always
made
refuse because you're always like, let's just make it $10. What's the upside of that?
Yeah, but I always say to you,
$10 in a year and a half.
I don't want to take $10,000 from you.
But you'll never have to, Tom, because I've never lost a bet.
And I also never want to give you $10,000. I'll leave and start a new life before I give you $10,000 from losing a bet.
All right, we're making an $8,000 bet.
Oh, $8,000 I can do, yeah.
In 18 months,
these
things are going to be all but gone from American cities.
But what are the that's a subjective way to look at it.
I'll decide the threshold at the time. Right. And I'll be honest, Tom, if I think they're not all but gone.
Right. If they are,
I'll write the check.
If they are actually gone, then you don't lose. You need them to be all but gone.
Well, those scooters will still exist, Tom.
Right. No, I'm saying, like, what if they're completely gone? What if something happens? What if there's a rapture?
Yeah,
the scooters.
Scooter rapture.
Yeah, the scooter god takes all the scooters
and I gotta say,
up to heaven.
There were good actors in Austin. Myself and everybody who I scooted with down there, we were
responsible scooters.
Yeah, we were responsible. We weren't riding on the sidewalk.
Are you scooters or are you scooterers?
We're back to the Muppets.
Yeah.
Are we scooters or are we skeeters? Right? It's the age-old question. Tom, this problem comes to us from Will.
Okay.
I believe it's short for William.
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
How you like them apples?
Yeah, I know. You can call me Will. Your podcast is the best out there.
Thank you.
And I see why your humor is so popular here in the UK. I don't. Have you guys ever considered going to Bristol or Cardiff for a live show? No. I have a problem you may wish to solve that is fairly minor but very frustrating. One of my friends at uni has a refillable water bottle, but refuses to refill it using tap water. Instead, he buys bottled water and decants it into his refillable bottle like some kind of psychopath. I have told him that it is wasteful and weird, but he doesn't listen. He claims that fluoride added to the tap water by the government poisons us. What should I do to stop this madness? Thanks, Will. Tom, I chose this particularly for you because I think you, out of anybody I know, would be able to speak most intelligently about fluoride in the water and the theories behind it. And there's probably a good chance that you buy into Will's friend's theory.
No. I mean, they put fluoride in the water because it helps your teeth. Like,
is that it?
Yeah.
Well, then that's not worth it.
What do you mean it's not worth it? No, I think it like dramatically helps. Like even just having a little bit of fluoride, like that, they've done studies that like it's made gigantic improvements to people's teeth, especially people that are not regularly seeing dentists.
Right. Okay.
That it at least like stops their teeth from just falling out of their heads.
What else does it do?
It also pacifies the populace.
Yeah.
To make them more pliable.
Right.
For suggestion.
Okay.
So it's a trade-off.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, but like, I don't know. Maybe that what I hear when you say, what did you say? It softens our brains.
It makes us more pliable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
see that as a mechanism for happiness, right?
Yeah,
you know too much.
Make me comfortably numb,
yeah,
baby.
You're too sharp. You're gonna be depressed all the time.
Right. And like the things that they're using to make us like pliable, it's like, now we can get them to like, consume and eat fast food and stuff. It's like, great. Hey, if you got a way, if you got something you can put in the water that's going to make that even more enjoyable for me, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just let it go, guys. Come on.
Just let it go. Drink some fluoride.
Yeah, quit being such babies. Number one, depending on the brand of bottled water he's using, there's probably fluoride in that.
I was gonna say that, yeah, like most bottled water, like it's filtered, but it's filtered from tap water, and I don't think a filter can take fluoride out. It's taking like minerals and like metals and stuff out.
Yeah, look, I think anybody that regularly drinks bottled water could stand to, get a refillable water bottle and not use bottled water. And all that plastic.
Well, and I do even understand like like if you got one of those like vacuum sealed bottled water bottles, like that's going to do a better job keeping the water cold. So like it is better than just like a plastic bottle of water. But like, yeah, you're defeating at least half the purpose by doing that.
You should.
I always feel incredibly guilty drinking any kind of bottled water.
It is insane that that's a thing, and that's a thing that they've like tricked us all into being like, no, this is the most normal thing in the world. I
mostly feel guilty because I'm like, well, I could be having soda.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna be drinking something out of a bottle anyway. Might as well make it soda.
You're always afraid that the soda industry is on the verge of bankruptcy.
Right, I gotta help out.
You gotta support
I'm always afraid that they're gonna start putting fluoride in the soda. Okay, keep your fluoride out of my soda.
Can you get your hands on fluoride?
Yeah, you can just buy. That's what like mouthwash is like. That's the active ingredient.
Flavorless fluoride. I say you start dosing your friend with fluoride.
Make him more pliable. Yeah.
Yeah, and then get him off the. Then he'll be suggestible enough that your constant harping about his bottled water use will. He'll be like, fine, you know what? You're right.
Yeah. Either he'll realize, I guess it's not, you've been secretly dosing me with it for the past 6 months. I guess it's not that bad. Or, it will work. And he'll be like, well, if you say so. And you'll make him easily suggestible.
And he'll be like, check out these chompers, too.
Yeah.
I was going to get veneers.
But then I found out you had to make them into little nubs.
Man, the idea of being like, look, these are the only teeth you got, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, but if they're like real messed up, I could see being like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to start over.
There's some people like who were on television before. They got onto television.
Yeah.
With the teeth they had. Yeah, maybe they're not perfect, but there's probably something you could do before just being like, sand them all down.
Sand them all down. Give me new chompers.
Let's get some porcelain in my mouth.
Yeah, I want my mouth to be like the toilet or a Precious Moments figurine.
Yeah.
I would say look into how much fluoride will kill a person before you do this.
Yeah, don't actually never look. I shouldn't have said dose your friend with fluoride.
Right.
Don't actually do that. Just tell your friend he's being an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, and give him a little fluoride.
Yeah.
Just put. You know what? Play it safe. Put some mouthwash in his water.
Yeah, what does he use it? I mean, I guess people aren't swallowing toothpaste and stuff, but
what?
like,
oh no,
I did when I was a kid. That's bad, right?
I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's bad.
I mean, I feel like
they wouldn't sell it if it's like, but you can't swallow this.
I didn't do it every time, but like it was like a nice little treat once in a while. It's minty and delicious, right? So like instead of spitting, anyway, the friggin' all I'm saying is if it was doing any damage, it would have manifested itself already.
Well,
right?
yeah, maybe that explains why you're so pliable and easily suggestible.
Tom,
toothpaste has fluoride in it too.
Yeah, I know. No, that's what I'm saying. Like his friend is brushing his teeth, right?
Yeah, presumably.
Maybe he's using some like Tom's of Maine stuff.
Yeah, some baking soda or something.
I like baking soda toothpaste.
I do too. It does make me feel very clean.
Fresh,
yeah. If you have a problem you'd like us to solve,
the garbage smell out of my mouth.
You can email us the complete guide to everything at gmail.com.
Do you have to brush veneers?
Yeah, brush veneers. You probably have to be like even more careful because they'll just like fall out.
They don't get stained though.
Yeah,
right?
but your gums.
Oh, right.
You probably gotta be extra careful about your gums.
Remember that, all you with veneers.
Because things can probably get stuck between the veneers and the gums. You can go to our website, tcgt.com, to find out more. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete guide. You can follow us on Twitter @complete guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @Tom Reynolds.
You can follow me @your pal Tim.
If you want to support the show, support our sponsors. Also check out tcgt.com/Amazon for your Amazon shopping, and patreon.com/complete guide for our Patreon, where you get fun weekly things like Books the Podcast, our new book podcast, where we're currently reading Lure of the Flies. This week is Lure of the Flies chapters 7 through 9.
Jeez, Tom.
7, 8,
I haven't even
9.
read the book. Hey.
I haven't read the whole book yet, but I read chapters 7 through 9, and you'll hear all about it at patreon.com/complete guide this week.
Yeah. Tom,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find a way to make you put your money where your mouth is.
About scooters.
Yeah.
No,
I just don't. I don't see how you don't, that you think like these things are here to stay. Like when has anything like this ever stuck?
I mean,
around?
the bikes have gotten more and more popular. The docked bikes.
Those are docked.
Yeah, well, maybe
those are run by the
maybe
city.
there will be docked scooters. They're not. That's a popular misconception.
They're certainly run in conjunction with the
like
city.
The city's given them the only like license to do it.
Right.
But it's a privately held company.
Really?
Yeah. It's
I
called
guess
Motivate.
It's not called Citibank?
No, they're just like the sponsor. They're just like the advertiser.
They shouldn't be allowed to sponsor things.
All right.
You know what bothers me? And this is apropos nothing.
That's fine. I stopped recording.
When you go to Citi Field,
Uh-huh.
right? And Citibank paid the New York Mets a lot of money for naming rights.
Yeah.
But then they put up a sign at the subway station that says, "Here's the Citi Field stop."
Yeah.
Fuck you. You don't get a sign. My tax dollars bought a sign that we have to put Citibank's friggin' name on now?
Yeah.
No, go screw. Actually, it says Mets Willets Point. This is wrong. No, I'm sorry, Citibank.
Well, they're going to come after you, and they're going to come after you hard.
Oh, brother.
We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.